Hello,
Hey,
Disney night.
Disney 100.
If you guys didn't know, Alicia is like a super Disney fan.
Okay, but here's the thing. I think by now most of you know I'm a music therapist, right? So the whole back of this, I'm gonna turn because the back is cool, is all like music things.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like all the different, and I don't know, it's
Well,
like
like
the perfect jersey for me. So I
I
had to
love
have it.
Disney too. Like you could see like right behind me. Like I have
Yeah,
Ed and Jasmine, like big
but
Disney fan. Like we're both are, but like I will say Alicia takes the cake on this one, like
yeah,
major.
but I just love it. So thank you to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law for picking this up in Disney for me. So excited.
Yay.
So anyway, Disney 100. I love Disney night. It's always one of my favorites. Although I forgot to grab Minnie Mouse ears, but that's okay.
Oh, I should have grabbed mine. I didn't think about
I have
that
a
either.
whole plethora of them. Anyway, so okay, can we first start talking about product placement?
The car ad. I literally
What?
texted you. I it was guys, it was so funny. We were watching the show and we're texting each other, and I go, car ad? like
Talk about product placement.
like I get that they were like
The big sponsor of
sponsoring
the
the
night.
show, but like we've never had a sponsor like for like one night show. It was the oddest thing.
It's weird.
And like I get that they have like a Disney like collaboration with it. It just felt weird, and it I don't know. To me, it didn't work
Not what I
for
wanted
Dancing
for
with
an
the
opening
Stars.
number.
Right.
And I know we got our opening number too, but the lead up to it, I was just kind of like,
It was just
okay,
weird.
what's happening?
It didn't fit with this show. Like I get like you can do a Disney placement and like it's a great like driving to the parks, driving like using it in
Be
different
like a
places.
commercial.
Right. But not for the Dancing with the Stars. It just
I
was
know. It
awkward.
was weird. It was very weird and very strange.
Yeah.
But I guess that's how it happens. Okay, but opening number, actual, we don't talk about Bruno. Opening number.
I am so
Da-
excited that they did. We don't talk about Bruno because I remember like talking about this with you, I think last season. I was like, they could have played on that with Bruno. And like they never did anything. So I
yes.
was so happy they did that song and they had that little like play with literally the Judge Bruno.
Yes. Now, did you read up anything? I didn't have a chance to. Did you read up anything about the four dancers, the four Colombian dancers? Right?
I haven't. I know who
Colombian?
choreographed like it was Christopher Scott, who's also
Yeah, because those
done.
four dancers, you could tell that they were very authentic. And even the costuming, like all the way down to the shoes, was so authentic. Like I loved it. I loved getting to see that creativity side for that number. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah. I liked having new people in there. I wish we could have seen even a little bit more of them in
Totally
it.
agree.
Um, but it was a very it worked really well with that number too.
And
And
also hosts getting to
again,
dance now the
dancing.
second week in a row. Yes.
I am so upset. They also announced that they're going on tour and that Julianne is going on certain locations and she's not coming by us. I am so upset. Jules, come on. Go to all of them. I want to see you.
Every single one.
Legit.
Oh, maybe next year. Maybe next year.
I'll still go see it. But like, I was so sad. I was like, no.
I know. That's what happens. That's what happens. So, yeah, it's all right. Now, we were talking a little bit. We did have some kind of repeat numbers from past Disney
So, but
seasons, which I didn't love, but then we had some really awesome new numbers
yeah.
too,
So we were
which was also really
talking,
cool.
like you were just saying right before this, Alicia and I, we were like prepping our notes and like just talking about the show. And we were discussing how they had like the new songs always have like really great concepts and like some different ideas. But then when you have these songs, especially with Disney, you have the classics. And I get that. I think that was their intent with the Disney 100. But it's repetitive. We've seen a lot of this. Like we've seen the Toy Story done. Um, the fact that Riley sister even had the exact same song with Sean Pence a few seasons ago, and then they did Unknown,
Aladdin.
yeah, from Frozen.
Oh, and Frozen.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they did that with the pro dancers, and Daniela played Elsa 2 years ago with like the exact same costume. And
Mhm.
then, and like they've done Aladdin before, they've done Little Mermaid before. So, and like they could have done different songs from there. But the other thing, too, that we were just talking about is we saw no Marvel and no Star Wars.
Needed some Star Wars, friends. Really needed some Star Wars. I was
Alicia,
just talking about how like incredible like a
yeah,
paso would have been to the Imperial March. Like what
yeah,
imaging that could have created. Like
it
it
would have
could
been
have just been
cool.
so good.
And like, I even think, like, I know this isn't Marvel or anything, but like, I know we got like a pretty, like, well, was it a rumba or a waltz?
To what?
For A Whole New World. Or,
A Whole New World was a
no, it
foxtrot.
was Foxtrot.
It was
Totally
foxtrot.
wrong. I'm just thinking like the slow song, so it didn't feel like a foxtrot.
No, it did not. It did
It
not.
felt
I'm sorry about
more
that.
like a
But
waltz to me.
yeah, no, foxtrot.
Yes, and but like
So
they
I
could
like that
like,
that was a little different,
right,
like
like,
stylistically, but
but like I would have loved to seen like one jump, like we haven't seen like that from
even
Aladdin,
like the new Little Mermaid, like for the first time, or
right?
Wild Uncharted Waters, like are
Exactly.
so fantastic as far as songs go. Like Lin-Manuel really and Alan Menken like really created those songs. Um, so it would have just been cool. But like I understand like music and magic, trying to stick with those beloved songs a little bit more. Like I do get that too. Um, but yeah, I was kind of hoping we were gonna get some different things like this first number.
The first number,
So different and so fantastic.
I thought it was brilliant the way that Emma choreographed it. That she was a broom, and that
So
can
this
we
was
talk?
a paso
Yeah,
to The Sorcerer's Apprentice
can
with Mauricio and Emma, and it was so clever and so fun.
it was so good, and the
Wow.
like props to the costume. Like it was funny because I rewatched the episode just because like I love Disney Night. It's one of my favorites. And
Hmm.
I watched it the first time and like I saw like, oh, they're the brooms, and then like they started dancing. I didn't catch where it was they showed the broom and then like the camera went off and then came back and it turned into Emma. So I didn't catch that the first time I watched it. And I was like, wait a second, I didn't notice that. Like that was even more genius. And like just the
So
little
cool.
like nuances and like movements. And like, will I say his dance perfect? No.
No, I mean, it was a little stompy. It was,
Right.
but I mean, his frame is getting better. His
So much better.
overall ability is just strengthening so much. And it's really, really fantastic. I'm so glad that he did not get, home that first week. And,
Yeah.
we've really gotten to see a totally different side. It's been really cool.
I love to see his improvement. And just like you said, that frame and the strength that he's and like he's starting to lead, which is huge. I would have liked to seen, a little bit more arch in his back, but like it's minor.
Minor things, minor
But
things.
I
You could tell
probably
he felt the story. He felt like, wow, this is going to be so much fun. And that's what I adore about Disney Night is that it does usually bring out the best in
storytelling.
everybody and
Yeah.
that storytelling piece. And it truly like shifts everything as we move forward here.
I feel like it allows them as the contestants to connect to their dance a little bit easier to like, okay, now I
Hmm.
have to find the story within the dance that I'm telling.
Yep.
So, and it's
Yeah,
a lot of times it's easier characters because they know the characters.
definitely.
So it's a easier thing for them to relate to or pull from because they've seen their story.
Right. So then, similar thing, we moved along to Mira and Gleb, who had a waltz to
Bella,
Cinderella.
dream is a wish your heart makes. Beautiful. This was Mira's number, her legs, her extension. Um, I even felt like her balance was a lot better.
Yeah, I would just say the only thing that I super noticed was when she's in hold, the elbow was
Elbow.
a little, was really high. Um, but truly another one that was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Huge like that. And like I even said right from the start, like I think the waltz is going to be her number. And it was.
Definitely,
Um,
definitely.
I
Ooh,
think
what would be
just
like
more
fun to do
dancers.
like a foxtrot to like bippity boppity boo or something?
I know, like we need something a little different. 'Cause
That would have been
now we're
so
starting to
fun.
get repetitive, which like
That
it's
would have
a
been really fun.
really I like the next one though, because the next one was different.
Yeah, so the next one we had Barry and Peta, who had a jazz to our song from Lady and the Tramp. And like, okay, I wish we could have seen, I texted you because I wish we could have seen this number without any of the mistakes, without Barry, I think being really anxious with the crowd and this high
Well,
expectation of working with
I
Bob Fosse and like,
I don't know if you guys noticed, no one has picked this up. Peter's shoe, her foot came out of her shoe
oh
and
no, I
was
didn't see that
half
either.
in, half out. So I don't know if that had something to do with the throw of like
The
the
lift and
cartwheel
everything.
and then like that threw Barry off. Like no one has brought that up, but like I
Hmm.
saw that and I was like, oh, her foot came out of her shoe because she had like those sneaker dance shoes.
Again,
I feel like not,
I
I
know.
don't like those. I
I don't
thought,
know what it is with these sneakers. Yeah, they're
yeah, it looks
not
weird.
helpful.
No, but the concept of this dance, like this is where I'm looking at more as the choreographer aspect. I loved it because it was different. It was fun. And like the thing though that like broke my heart, and I think it also broke your heart, is that you could tell his technique and the stylization that he had for the jazz was spot on. And I think
Yes.
that's because he's had that past training. And even like the way he held his core, I felt was even really strong
Totally
for the
different.
jazz.
He was just perfect for this dance. Like it
Right.
truly was a dance for him and it was choreographed beautifully and there were just so many wonderful elements to it. And like I said, like I wish that we could see what it was supposed to. Maybe future down the line if he stays in here long enough, maybe they'll
He
do
gets
like
to
a
like
redemption
repeat it.
dance, and
Yeah,
you know how they do redemption dances
I
as
know.
we get
But
further
like
along.
I felt so
Stay
bad.
in, Barry.
Like even Carrie Ann's like, this was your best dance. And it truly was, I think,
It
but like just
was.
because of those mess ups, because I
Right.
think he probably would have gotten sevens, if not eights, if he nailed that dance.
Yes. Yes. So I'm glad we're keeping him around for another week. So I'm excited.
Then our
All
next one
right, and
was
then we did the question mark dance, right? But this was a foxtrot with
yes,
Jason and
Jason
Daniela
Danielle, a whole new
to
world.
A Whole New World from Aladdin.
It didn't feel like a foxtrot. That's why I was like, wait, wasn't it a waltz? Like before I looked at my notes down here, but then yeah, it's a foxtrot. It felt
Yeah,
weird.
it definitely felt a little weird.
And this was
Yeah.
not Jason's best number
No, but it was also his first time within ballroom,
room.
and
But
they
I
were
also
very
think
different.
because it was so slow, like, and like, don't get me wrong, like a foxtrot's not
Fast
fast,
by
but
any
it's
means.
not to me like,
Waltzy slow.
yeah, like it felt more romantic like in that number. So it just didn't fit
I
for
feel
me.
like I would have loved it with, like you were saying, like with one jump
Like do a quick
um
step to one jump
or like
or
right,
jazz
a
number.
quick step to one jump would be great. Or like, Jeannie's number, Friend Like Me, like
Yeah.
doing something to Friend Like Me. Um, or even Prince Ali.
Yeah.
Like even maybe a foxtrot to Prince Ali would have been a little bit better because at least it would have given you a little more heavy beating. But
Yeah.
I don't know, definitely wasn't the best, but I still love Jason. So I'm just
His hold was not as strong as I thought
no.
it would have been
And the
either.
lone hand, the
Yeah,
lone arm that was like not holding her or not doing things was always doing something a little weird. Like you could tell he didn't know like where am I supposed to put it.
exactly.
Felt a little Macarena like
Right. Let's see. Then we had Lele and Brandon, and they
Roomba.
had, yep, Rumba and Can You Feel the Love Tonight from Lion King. And I texted you right off the bat. She lifted her foot up, and I go, Brandon needs to teach her how to point her toes. And like, but I also texted you right in that spot. I go, upper body was so much more
Fantastic.
controlled. And like
So
you could
beautiful.
tell that she was holding her core so much better. And then it was so funny. Then the judges were starting to say, like, oh, you gotta work on your feet, and the core was better. And I was,
Yeah.
we could be judges, Alicia.
But it's just a, it's just a constant process. And I think it's hard to figure out, okay, where do we start? Do we start from the feet up, or are we starting from the head down?
And I
And
think
figuring
it
out
was
what works
smarter
best.
to do the upper body just because we were saying, like, even her feet and like her hips and legs, are they perfect? No, but they were a lot better and
Yes.
stronger than the core. Now the core was actually stronger than the feet in this place.
Yes.
But it, her balance and her like would
Oh.
go off, and like last week it just seemed even more
But you also have to remember with the
off.
Roomba, there's so much hip in
Movement.
there that of
Yeah,
course
the
it
figure
throws
eight.
everything off. And it
Yeah,
does kind of make your body, I think, feel like your lower body and your upper body are not really moving together because
right.
your hips are constantly doing something.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely, it was different. It was great in a lot of ways and has gotten quite the improvement. So
The other thing too,
totally.
though, I would say for them is she reaches very good. Like her extension was better, but I think she could go just that much
Mm-hmm.
more. And I think that extension is going to help her even in her upper body all the way down to her lower body,
Yep.
across the board. If she can just pull up and
Mm-hmm.
like not just like, okay, hi, I'm here, but it's like, oh, all
Right.
the,
That real, like, full
oh,
fledged.
exactly.
Getting there.
Then
Definitely getting there.
we had now, okay, guys, before we go to this next number, you have to understand Alicia's wedding was Beauty and the Beast themed.
It's
Okay.
true. It's
So
true.
going to that, like we all got roses at the wedding. It was great. And
Giant glass roses, and the whole head table was the characters, but in antique form. So like an antique clock, an antique candelabra. Um, yeah, my dress was very Belle-esque.
oh, very.
So I love Beauty and the Beast. I am obsessed with Belle and Adam. I actually have the Disney 100 ears that light up with Belle and Adam on them because, I'm more like Belle Adam. Our cake topper was Belle and Adam. It was not Belle and Beast. Um, and I love just the whole story of Beauty and the Beast. So we're gonna preface that with saying that first.
Can I also tell my little Beauty and the Beast story?
Go ahead.
So, one reason that I relate to Beauty and the Beast so much is that it was the first musical I ever saw. And when I saw it, I was like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5. I don't remember how old I was, but very young. And at the curtain bow where Belle comes out and waves, well, I started to wave to her. And then she waved out to the audience. Well, because I waved first, I thought Belle waved directly to me. And I cried 2 hours after the show, crying because Belle waved to me.
I love that. That's so fantastic. And of
So,
course, you and I worked on Beauty and the Beast together.
yeah,
Both were in
in
Beauty
the
and the Beast
yep,
together, and when we were younger, and then worked on it together as an actual show much later in life.
yep.
And so Beauty and the Beast just forever has my heart. Yellow's my favorite color. Like the dark hair. Like I used to dress up as Belle for parties. I have a tattoo on my back that is the rose. I just love everything Beauty and the Beast. However,
She
this
literally
was not
texted
it.
me. She's like, I love Beauty and the Beast, but
This
I
this
do
was not it.
I do have to say, as a choreographer aspect for Sasha, I liked the concept. I like that they didn't do Belle and they didn't do the beat. Like, I liked that it was Lumiere
Candelabras.
and Cogsworth. Like, it was something different than what we've seen before. The one thing though that I thought was weird is, yes, they had Coco dressed up as Babette. Like, I thought she should have been Belle. And there, like, I don't, that's just a choreography aspect for that. I
Totally. Like she
turned
was
that
sitting
off.
in the chair. I'm like, first of all, Babette literally never sits. She's constantly running across stage.
Right.
So she would have literally never sat down ever. So I was like, character wise, that doesn't fit. And yeah, it was a jazz, and I think that part was great. I just
The other thing too is they took a
that's it.
long
That's all
time
I
at the
got.
beginning of the dance.
So long.
I felt like some of these dances were very short this week too. Did you feel that?
Too much product placement. No, I don't I don't know. Yeah, I do feel like some of them were a little short, but it also could have been the initial prep and how long it took for some of them to get into the actual dance.
Yeah. Yep. And I felt like that one just took a while at the beginning. And I know
Too
like
long.
they got called out on that too a little.
Way too
So
soon.
yeah.
I love their partnership. I love Sasha. I love Allison. I love their energy. We got to do better next week. That was not it.
Although I did love their costumes. Loved their costumes.
The costumes were definitely fun. They were definitely fun. I wish Sasha's had a little bit more
Of a Cogsworth,
look
like
to it to feel like Cogsworth. Because at first I was
yeah,
kind of like, oh, are they both candelabras? Oh no. Oh no. Always Cogsworth.
yeah.
Oh, okay. They're partners. They're buddies dancing.
See,
I got it. Okay, I got
I
it.
I knew it right away because I saw it on social media and like his mustache was the clock. So like they had
Okay.
like hands on the clock, which it I don't know if you weren't like looking right at it, you wouldn't
Nope.
catch that. So
Nope. Well,
yeah, go online,
yeah,
go look at it because it looked really cool up close, but I
I
think
will. Definitely
from
will. But
from far away it probably wasn't enough. Like they needed something like either like with the tie or something in the front. So
yeah.
yep.
All right. Moving on. Okay, so this before we get into the next one, this is where because like I said, I try not to look ahead of time of what people are going to do, especially on Disney night. I love to be surprised. But when they introduced this next one, they specifically mentioned and talked about the evolution of Disney moving from Walt Disney Animation and then gathering into and joining Pixar and the creation of Pixar. So that I thought to myself, wow, even in the opening monologue, it talked about Marvel and Star Wars. So I was like,
Mhm.
are we going to do it? Are we finally going to get to see Marvel and Star Wars? And then it
Well, we had
happened.
a Marvel dance last year because um it was Vale and Gabby did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
So we
So that's
have
why I was like,
seen it before,
yes.
but yeah, not tonight.
So anyway, I just wanted to preface that and say that because I was really itching. I was really hoping. I really want to pause out to the Imperial March.
So we kind of did already talk about this though. Like they had Toy Story,
So Toy Story for
Harry and
Harry and
Riley.
Riley, they had a quick step to
Yep.
this. Yeah, she
And
got a little bit of backlash because it was a little similar in a lot of ways. And
they even did like one of the same steps from what I saw online. So my guess
yep,
is like she brought it to Lindsay, and Lindsay's like, "Oh, I did this number a few years ago," and
yeah.
like it was a quick step, and
I mean, it was cute. I think
yeah,
Harry definitely looked more comfortable this week than he has in the past. I feel like he did add a little bit more content. We're getting a little bit more every week,
mm-hmm,
like teeny tiny, but hey, teeny tiny's better than nothing. Um, I think the other thing that's still he's still struggling with is the height difference between the two of them. You can
yeah,
tell that he's like bending at moments when he shouldn't be bending and he should be standing up straight.
right,
Um, so we're still getting a little bit of that awkward levelness going on, but I mean we're slowly improving, and that's what this is all about.
yeah,
Um, Feeling more comfortable and just having more fun. So
I would agree. Like it was one of his best dances. I'm not blown away by him. Like he's
no,
still struggling.
yeah,
So I feel
totally agree.
like you said, the height, just even the arm placement, like he still doesn't have the extension. So like if you look at his sevens compared to like even Barry and Peta's where like his core and stuff like that, where it was sixes, even though very messed up, like it's hard for me to compare that. And I know when the judges are grading, they're, or I say grading when they judge, um,
Teacher mode.
um, they're judging against yourself. So it's like Harry's version of a seven. But
Right.
it's hard for me to look at that and go, really? You gave him sevens, but Barry has a six. Yeah, I know he messed up, but it still to me was so much better for
Right.
Barry.
Right.
So
Yes, I totally agree. So yeah, we'll see. Got our little meeting here. Okay, so then we had Sochi and Val with a Paso Doble to a Coco number. I'm glad we got something different in here
yeah.
by throwing in a Coco number. I love Coco. If you've never watched Coco, you need to go watch Coco. Make sure you have some tissues ready because that is my life. That is what I get to see constantly, especially with the older population. And it is incredible. Music truly is this gift that we have. And I just love Coco. So
I've
definitely
never
check that
I've,
out.
I've never seen Coco.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch Coco.
I've never seen it.
What is wrong with you? You need to watch Coco right now. Get off. You have 9 minutes and then get off and go watch Coco. Have tissues ready. But
Oh,
I'm serious, like that is truly something that I get to see all the time. His grandmother has dementia and does not remember things, and music is what allows a connection between Miguel and his grandmother.
yeah.
And I truly get to see those moments. So everything you see in that movie when it comes to the music side of it is all true and it is incredible. It's one of those movies that like my parents don't really watch cartoon movies
Hmm.
and I made them sit down and watch Coco. And when it ended, like my mom was just like, I need to like put pictures of everybody up and I need to make sure that like they're here because pictures being on an ofrenda is a big part of Mexican culture and Dia de los Muertos. And um, so it is by far one of the greatest movies to ever come out of Disney. The music is amazing and the concept is amazing. So
Okay.
that's my plug for Coco. You got to check it out.
I
But
have,
Sochi upper body was great. I feel like we need to give a little more power to the lower body now because I feel like
mhm.
now we're doing a lot of upper body focus. So similar to Lele, right? Focusing a little bit more on that lower
And
body too,
I do think this week too for her was very intense because if you look at like I think for Val, Paso Doble is his best dance.
for
It's
sure.
his strongest and his technique. So I think when he does the paso, it is more intense. And like she was even like, I'm scared a little bit. And but like it was such a good thing. And like I think it brought out a lot more extension and power in her
Yes,
compared to what
totally.
we've
I felt
seen.
in the upper body. I just wish
Yeah.
there was a little more of that through the legs because you're
Yeah.
right. He is if you have never watched Val do a paso, wow, it's intense. It's intense. So
And I think part of that though too is her strength in her legs. I don't know if she has that level of strength yet.
hmm
So it's that strength building which will come as a dancer and come with time. So it's working on that of how to control the power too, which
right.
can be a little tricky.
Yep.
Then from there we
We
went
went to Adrian and
Adrian and
Britt
Britt with
at
the
the
Viennese
Viennese
waltz
Wall.
um from Dumbo with Baby Mine. And I, at least I was happy. If you didn't watch it, Adrian went home, that he went
Yes,
on a high because I
he
thought that
did
was his best dance.
for sure.
So, like, I always feel bad when they go home, but like, at least he can go home on something that he was proud of.
Yes, for sure. It really, he felt super duper relaxed. Like you could just tell he was really relaxed with it. Um, I didn't really love like where this pieced in because Dumbo was
Yeah, it was weird.
for some of these things so that it was like at first they started like beginning Disney and then like moving up and into the
Yeah.
90s and then all of a sudden it was like Dumbo and it was like
Well, I think it was because of the live action Dumbo,
oh that's fair. Okay, no, that's fair. I wasn't thinking
because
that.
then we were kind of switching
Okay,
into like the live
you're right.
action and the current
You're
like,
exactly right.
so I think that's where that came
Yep,
from. But
you're
it
totally right.
they
I
were
was not thinking.
they were still showing though the
The
cartoon
cartoon.
bow in the background, so like it was a little confusing.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking. I never actually watched the most
I
recent of
refuse to
those.
watch the live action one because when I watched the cartoon one, I cried hysterically because it's such a sad movie. And like I can't emotionally handle it.
Have the tissues ready for Coco. Okay, so we got just a couple minutes left. So let's move on to Ariana and Pasha, who had a contemporary to Frozen from Frozen 2.
Yep.
Of course, we did
Yeah,
Into the
no.
Unknown.
It was a beautiful dance. And the other thing too is I know she doesn't have experience with contemporary. I didn't realize she has a theater degree and like the musical theater background. So she has some dancing in the background. So that doesn't surprise me with how good she is. So, which I think was really needed because like to really handle contemporary, you have to be able to point your toes, you have to be able to extend. And that one lift that Pasha did with her, incredible with like Marie Spinder, like it was beautiful.
I totally agree. However, I think my biggest problem with that was there was this huge run that led to nothing and then the lift. Like I wish there was a fall, a leap, a jump, like something
It's just
to
to keep
make
that
that
momentum.
momentum continue. I felt like the momentum was there and I was like, "Oh my gosh, something really big is happening." And then it like stopped. And then the lift came and I was like, "Oh." Like I didn't feel as much of that momentum movement without something leading into it.
Mm-hmm. And
But
some of
otherwise,
that
it was
too, I think,
beautiful. I
is
agree.
the transitioning of just like learning how to do that as a new dancer.
Right.
So it's like your balance as a choreographer of what can you give them that they're going to be
That they're going to be able to
successful
work with.
in. Yeah.
Right.
So
Absolutely. I totally get that. I just wish then the run wasn't there. It was like, so then do something else. Do like a little twirl or like a
yeah.
spin or something, not a straight run momentum. Go, go, go. And then all of a sudden stop. Lift. It's like, like what?
But I have to say overall I was very impressed and I thought it was
Totally agree.
beautiful.
And
So
then, of course, we ended the night with Charity and Artem with a waltz to the newest version of The Little Mermaid. And I love just her being able to really take on this role
I
and
do.
continue the beauty that comes with with Halle Berry taking on Halle Bailey taking on the role of Little Mermaid.
I have to say one thing that I like that she even says like there are little girls that are out there who look like me and can see that this is possible. And I loved
I
that.
love it.
That
I
was
love
cool.
it.
Although
And you could tell she really felt this. It was beautiful. Even within hold was beautiful. I don't feel like her scores were enough. I kind of was hoping they were going to be a little higher.
I have one really bad pet peeve about this dance though. And
Go
it's
ahead. What is it?
nothing to do with the dance. The costume bothered
Yeah.
me so much because Little Mermaid's costume is purple on top and green on the bottom. And this costume was green on top and purple on the bottom. And it was driving me insane. And I felt like when I watched it, every time I watched the dance, I was like, my eyes is just going to that. And it was bugging me so much. But that's just my OCD in me. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. That was my pet peeve about this dance.
But truly, if that's it, I mean, my goodness, it was
I know.
awesome. It was a good way to end the night. And
It was a beautiful choreographed piece. Artem outdid himself with
yes,
that
yes, he did.
number. And Charity, it was a strong, I'm glad they put Charity at the end there because it was a
Yes.
perfect way to end
Well
it.
deserved.
Yeah. And like I actually and I loved the set that they built, like the little
Yeah, it was
like
so
the
pretty.
room. It was beautiful. And the set designer outdid himself in that. And everything coming together told the story of Little Mermaid. I felt like throughout
Yes.
that number, even Charity's like acting and her, I thought her hold was really good too.
Totally agree. Beautiful.
Um, so the only thing that bothered me was the costume.
Well, if that's it, we're doing pretty good.
I know.
So we are less than a minute. We're about to get kicked off of here.
Next
So
week is most
happy
memorable year, and we're gonna
most
cry.
memorable year.
We thought that the Len thing was this past week. It's not. It's
It's
this
coming
week.
now.
And I'm
Oh
very
boy.
excited to see some of our original pros come back. Really know.
Lots of tissues ready and go watch Coco.
Yeah, exactly. So, well,
All right, everyone. Stay
have a great night.
magical.
Bye.